That night, my husband looked at me across the dining table and said, "There was a night I almost walked out. I stood at the door with my keys in my hand and I really thought I wasn't coming back." The room felt smaller. My throat went tight. I asked him the only thing I could manage to say, "Why didn't you leave?" He looked down at his hands, the same hands that used to hold my face when we were young, and he whispered, "Because I knew, if I stepped outside, something in me would break for good." And I couldn't stop wondering, how does a man get that close to leaving the life he built and the woman he promised to love without her even knowing? Hi, and welcome back to Midlife Moments. If you've ever lived in the quiet space between two people who used to know each other well, this story might sit close to the heart. My name is Sarah. I'm 46 and I thought I understood the man I'd been married to for almost 20 years. But one conversation proved me wrong. Before I tell you what happened that night, I want to go back to a memory I still hold like a photograph in my mind. It was a summer evening in our 20s. We were driving along an empty road outside of Austin, windows down, music loud, and the wind felt like freedom. He reached over, squeezed my hand, and said something that still lives in my chest. "If we ever get lost one day, let's come back here." This is where we began. I believed him. I believed in us. The version of us that laughed easily, that dreamed in the same direction, that felt like a team. I just never thought a marriage could shift so quietly, that one day you'd wake up next to someone and realize you don't recognize the way they look at you anymore. I never thought he had a night where he almost walked out of the life we built. It started slowly, little shifts, almost invisible ones. He stopped lingering in the kitchen in the mornings. He rushed through dinner. He spent late nights in his home office, lights spilling out under the door while I lay awake alone. At first I blamed the workload. His company was restructuring, people were getting laid off, and he carried stress like a silent storm. I told myself, "Sarah, give him space. He'll come back to you." But even simple things changed. When I'd ask, "How was your day?" he'd answer with a short, "Fine," and that was it. I tried to meet him where he was. I tried to be patient, but I started feeling like a guest in my own marriage. One night I walked downstairs around 2 in the morning for a glass of water, and found him sitting alone in the dark living room staring out the window. His shoulders were tense, like he was holding something heavy inside. I asked gently, "Couldn't sleep?" He said, "I'm fine. Go back to bed." But the way he said it didn't sound like fine at all. And then came the moment that haunted me. I found his jacket, the one he only took when he was going somewhere important, hanging by the front door. I remember standing there, my hand brushing the sleeve, feeling this cold, sinking fear. Had he been planning to leave and changed his mind? I wanted to ask, but the question sat too heavy in my throat. Looking back, I understand why my silence scared him, just like his silence scared me. Two people living in the same home, walking around each other, hurting quietly, hoping the other person would say something first. The breaking point came on a Friday night. We sat across from each other at the dinner table, and the only sound was the clink of silverware on plates. I felt something inside me snap. I set my fork down. "Tell me what's going on, please. At least let me understand what I'm losing." He looked up slowly, eyes tired in a way I had never seen before. "There's nothing to talk about." That sentence hit me harder than any argument could. I tried again. "We barely speak. We barely look at each other. I can feel you drifting, and I don't know how to reach you." He rubbed his forehead, then said quietly, "I'm exhausted, Sarah. I don't want to fight." I swallowed hard. "I'm not trying to fight. I'm trying to save us." He hesitated, and then the truth slipped out like something he had been carrying alone. "I feel like I lost something, and I don't know how to get it back." My voice shook. "Did you lose me?" He didn't answer. And sometimes silence is the loudest answer of all. After a long pause, he said, "There was a night a while back when things changed for me." I stared at him. "What night?" He exhaled slowly. "The night I almost left." The room went still, and so did I. He didn't look at me when he said it. He just kept talking like the words finally had permission to come out. I stood by the front door with my jacket on, my keys in my hand. I thought about driving until I couldn't think anymore. My voice was barely a whisper. Why? What happened that night? He finally looked at me. I walked in and saw you doing dishes. You didn't look up. You didn't smile. You didn't even ask how my day was. I frowned. I asked if you'd eaten. I remember that. He nodded. Exactly. Your voice sounded distant, like you were talking to a roommate, not a husband. I felt something twist inside me. I was exhausted that night. Work was awful. I didn't mean to push you away. I know, but in that moment, it hit me that I didn't know you anymore. His voice cracked a little. It scared me how far away you felt, even though you were standing right there. I blinked back tears. And that made you want to leave? He nodded. I thought if I walked out, maybe it would hurt less than staying and watching us fall apart. I covered my mouth with my hand. What stopped you? He stared at the table. You sighed. I blinked. What? You let out this soft, tired sigh, and for some reason it felt like you were carrying the whole world on your shoulders. He continued. I realized if I walked out, I'd be adding weight to someone who was already struggling. He finally met my eyes. You didn't know it, but that sigh kept me home. I couldn't hold back the tears anymore. He went on. I didn't tell you because I didn't want you to feel guilty or responsible or trapped. But the truth is, I didn't know how to stay, and I didn't know how to leave. So I did nothing. I whispered, and doing nothing still broke us. He nodded slowly. Yes, it did. Two people sitting inches apart carrying years of unsaid words. I never realized a marriage could end quietly, long before anyone walks out the door. I moved my chair closer, as if shortening the physical distance might soften the emotional one. I took a breath, steady and slow. We can't go back to the beginning, and maybe we don't need to. But we can go back to that night and talk about it, instead of pretending everything was fine. He watched me carefully, as if trying to decide whether he deserved this chance. I continued. I don't want a marriage where we guess how the other person feels. I want us to talk even when it hurts, even when it scares us. He swallowed. I want that too. I asked softly, do you still want to leave? His answer came without hesitation. No, I want to stay, but not in the way we've been staying. I want to be here with you, not just beside you. My chest loosened just a little. Because sometimes the first step back toward each other is simply telling the truth. The weeks after that conversation weren't perfect. Real life never fixes itself overnight, but something shifted. He started opening up again about work, about fears, about feeling lost. I stopped pretending I was fine when I wasn't. We sat together more. We reached for each other more. We tried not to fix everything, but to understand it. I learned that marriages rarely fall apart in one moment. They break in the quiet spaces, the unsaid words, the slow drifting. And sometimes the way back begins with one honest conversation on a night you thought you might lose everything. If this story feels familiar, you're welcome to share a part of your journey below. Someone out there maybe watching late at night might find comfort in knowing they're not alone. Thank you for listening, and I hope you join me again here on Middle Life Moments, where we talk about the things many people live through, but few ever speak about.